unbelievable stories behind common sayings. Welcome to Upside, where we have fun facts for curious minds. To enjoy more of these videos, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Many phrases that we use on a regular basis have weird and unusual stories behind them. Today we will share with you the strange origins of everyday expressions like "it's raining cats and dogs," "turning a blind eye," or "bringing home the bacon." First up on our list, the expression "piss poor." When you say someone is piss poor, you probably don't know what this strange saying actually means. Let's go back to 27 BC when the Roman Empire had first started its reign. Back then, urine was used to tan animal skins. So, to make a little money, families would all pee in a pot, and once the pot was full, they would take it to the tannery and sell it.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great.
Back then, if you were surviving off of the money you made from selling your piss, you were piss poor. The next expression on our list is a very common saying that originates from 1500 AD. Have you ever wondered why people refer to a heavy rain as raining cats and dogs? Well, back in the 1500s, houses had thatched roofs. These roofs were made by piling straws or reeds 6 feet thick. The piles of straw were a cozy shelter for small animals to stay warm, so the cats and small animals lived inside these roofs.
That could have gone better.
When it rained, the thatching became slippery and the animals would sometimes fall off the roof, hence the saying, "raining cats and dogs." A little extra fact for you upsiders, during this time of thatched roofs, there was nothing to stop insects and dirt from dropping from the roof and onto people while they were sleeping, which is how canopy beds with big posts and a covering on top came to be. Another common expression, dirt poor, and an everyday item that you probably have in your house currently came from this time. The average 1500s home had a dirt floor, which could be a hassle to keep. So the people who could afford it had slate floors put in their houses, while the poor had to deal with dirt floors, hence dirt poor. These slate floors did create a bit of a problem for those who could afford them, because in the winter and rainy months, the slate would become very slippery. They had to spread thresh or straw on the floors to keep their footing. As the winter wore on, the wealthy added more and more thresh to their slippery and wet floors until it was so much that when they opened the door, the thresh would slip outside. They would place a piece of wood in the entryway of their home to stop the thresh from floating away, creating the threshold. In the days of dirt floors and raining animals, the saying "bringing home the bacon" and the "Pease Porridge" rhyme were created because of the 1500s food situation. Back then, people cooked in the kitchen with a big kettle that always hung over a fire. Every day at mealtime, they would light the fire and add what food they had to the pot. Mostly vegetables that they grew in their gardens. They were usually not able to get much meat. The family would eat the stew for dinner, leaving leftovers in the pot. The next day, they would add more ingredients to the pot. So sometimes the stew had food in it that had been there for quite a while. Hence the rhyme "pease porridge hot," "pease porridge cold," "pease porridge in the pot 9 days old." When a family could obtain pork to eat, they felt very special because it was a rare food to have. When visitors came over, the family would hang up the bacon to show off. It was a sign of wealth if a man could bring home the bacon. The expression "saved by the bell" and the tradition of holding awake both also come from the 1500s. Back then, people drank ale or whiskey from lead cups. The combination of the alcohol and lead would sometimes knock out the person drinking from the lead cup for a few days. Someone walking along the road would sometimes find these people unconscious and assume they were dead and prepare them for burial. When local people started to run out of places to bury the dead or not so dead, they would dig up the coffins and take the bones from the coffin to a bone house and reuse the grave. When reopening these coffins, 1 out of 25 were found with scratch marks on the inside, and they realized they had been burying people alive.
Help!
In order to avoid accidentally killing people, they would tie a string to the wrist of the corpse, lead it through the coffin, up through the ground, and tie it to a bell. Someone would have to sit in the graveyard all night and listen for the bell. Thus, someone could be saved by the bell. This eventually became too much work, so that later, when someone was found sleeping by the side of the road, they would be taken inside and laid upon the kitchen table for a few days. The family would gather around the table to eat and drink and see if they would wake up, hence the custom of holding awake. The people from the 1500s created a lot of common sayings out of things that seem strange to us, but they and the Romans weren't the only ones. This last expression on the list was created by British naval hero Horatio Nelson. During the Battle of Copenhagen in 1801, Nelson's ships were fighting against a large Danish-Norwegian fleet. When his more conservative superior officer flagged for him to withdraw, the one-eyed Nelson brought his telescope to his bad eye and stated, "I really do not see the signal." He went on to score a decisive victory. Thus, the phrase, "turn a blind eye," is used today when someone does not want to acknowledge something that they saw. Hopefully you learned something new today. Which of these common sayings' origins is your favorite? Let us know in the comments section below. And for all you Upsiders who want more Upside videos, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. If you find this video interesting, we know you'll love our video on things you will see for the first time in your life. See you next time!